Well, hello, YouTube family. Off to another day of work over at the, excuse me, my overgrown yard project, the never-ending job. I'm just going to start this video out. Someone suggested they wanted to see some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, I guess. But this is just me getting ready to leave in the morning and getting my equipment and loaded up and so on and so forth. So, kind of. What I do before I head out, I'm pulling my trailer out of that shelter right there. It's got the Chip is on there on board, and Chip will have the day off today, so he's gonna rest up and stay here at the house. My trailer, I've done since this video. I've done some work to my little utility trailer. I kind of cut the sides down a little bit, made it look a little bit nicer. Anyway, and I also got a ball and the size for to tow Chip around the yard rather than having to load him up on the trailer every time. I'm going to see if I can get a ball to fit my lawnmower that's over at the house that I'm working at. See if I can get a ball on that so that I can tow it around around the yard rather than push it. I don't really want to drive my truck back there. I just, it's too much stuff that it's a newer truck, and I just don't feel like driving it back there right now. So I'll see if I can pull it around with the lawnmower. But anyway, here I am backing up to my shop and going to unload Chip. As I'm unloading this, it almost appears that I'm afraid of going down that ramp when I lower that gate, but the fact is that thing is really slippery, and you can see it's kind of cold and frosty out there. The morning I did this, and I've slipped on that thing one time. I didn't fall or anything; I just slipped a little bit. So I'm real careful how I walk on that. You'll see here. I just kind of gingerly step on it or over it. So anyway, let me get Chip unloaded here, and then I'm also going to do a little impromptu shop tour. I didn't have the camera on my gimbal, so it was a little shaky, but and I took the sound out of it because it was banging back and forth, moving that tripod and everything. It just makes noise, so I just took the sound out of it. So I'll give you a little impromptu tour of my little shop. I built this in 2008 when we bought the house. After I cleared the land, there was a lot of brush back here in this yard. One of the videos, I'll include a picture of it, but it was covered. On the right side there, up to the corner of the house, from where my truck is, or where that pole is right there, the post that I'm right behind, all the way up to the corner of the house, that was just total brush. Couldn't see anything. Of course, the fence wasn't there. I put all that up myself. So anyway, here we go. That's the shop, and I'm going into the main shop is that door on the left, and then this double door here on the right. This is an add-on I did to my shop. Like anything, when you build something or have something built, it's too small right from the get-go. So I was telling a fella just the other day that when I built it, I no sooner got the last roof shingle on and realized my shop was too small. It's a 12 by 20. But this is the little side building. I got some tools in there, and I keep my weed eaters and gas and blowers and I got some good wood there on the right hand side, and just extra stuff. Keep it out of the way. My spray for Roundup and lawn and all that. I've got right there is a table saw right there. I should point at it, and that's one next to it. That's a nice DeWalt chop saw with the stand that comes with it. And then next to it, right there, right where I'm pointing at, that's my planer. I've got a window there that I put in, and I got that fan right below the window. I use that to pull the hot air out in the summer, so that's what that's all about. This is like a porch that I built here, just between the two shops. That building that you just saw on the left there, that's where my wood lathes are. I'll go in there in a minute. This is the main shop. Nothing to write home about. I got my Harbor Freight toolbox there, and I've got a storage cabinet right there on the left that those cords are hanging on. That door that I'm pointing at, that was the main door, but I don't use that anymore. It's a Dutch door now. I cut it in half so I can open the top half, get some air in. There's my sub panel that I wired in. I dug a ditch from the house to here and ran 220 down here and put a sub panel in for the shop. And I got it's a welder right there, a small welder. And over on that bench back there, I have a mini metal lathe and a mini milling machine. And of course on the right hand side, a drill press, grinders, and all that stuff. Cabinets and parts and all kinds of stuff. I like tools, so. But anyway, that's my little shop. Got it all wired up nice. Got outlets and lights, and I've got an exhaust fan. A fan's right above that cabinet there, above the toolbox. Now I just opened that window on the left. Put that fan on to get rid of any fumes or. These are my, that's a chainsaw blade sharpener up there, and this one here I'm pointing at is for the circular saw sharpening my blades. I just got done sharpening all of them a couple months ago. This is just a 10 by 12 metal storage shed that I kind of converted into my wood lathe shop. I wired it up, put an alarm in there, and I got some of just that half-inch insulation just to help out a little bit. Got some lights in there, and got both my wood lathes and toolbox, and that's a Shopsmith vac that my dad had, and that thing works great. I got that from his house when he passed away. That's the larger lathe. I got a project on there now. That's a pretty big lathe. I can get up to 42 inches on that one. And this next one is a little bit smaller lathe. I got cabinets there and holding some tools, and that yellow light, my neighbor gave me that. He's a commercial electrician. It's on a job site and had a pile of them, so he gave me one. My sander, and anyway, that's the tour of the shops. Like I said, this is all wired into the main shop. It's on a separate circuit, but it is wired in. There's our camper sitting over there. I just yesterday, today is Sunday, yesterday Saturday the 19th, I just uncovered it, getting it ready for the season. In our outdoor cooking area right over there. Got my pizza oven, grill, so on and so forth. And that's that little canvas garage that I used to store my equipment in. It's just basically a tarp over a metal frame. So ends the tour. I'll see you back here in just a little bit. Just before I do that, I just want to do a couple people had asked about different stuff like this. What's your yard look like? What do you do to get ready? Just things like that. So just a little bit of the inside stuff, if you will, for what I do before I head over there. So I'll be back here in just a little bit. It's a little before and after. That was the fourth day I was in the backyard. These vines, that's what I'm working on now, the base of these vines. And they are about 1.5 to 2 inches around. this was kind of a chore because that piece of white thing there is a like vinyl fencing, and it's attached to a piece of metal that was a dog crate at one time that the vines just basically grew right into and around and everything. So I couldn't really just get in there and chop it with my little saw because the metal was all in there, entangled in that the base of that vine. But I finally got it out and got it out of the way. That big stump to the left there is in between the two fences. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I don't know if I'll be able to do anything with it, but I'll try to trim the tops of it off a little bit, make it look a little bit more presentable. So anyway, you can see me struggling with that thing there. That's a piece of metal right there, and you'll see as I pull it out at the end, it's just a piece of metal with that little vinyl fencing attached to it. But we got it out of there. I love putting those before and after pictures up because even I'm amazed at how overgrown this thing was. I mean, you couldn't see down that fence line between this barn. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, that's that piece of wire right there. You can kind of see it. So we got it out of there. I'll rake it up and get ready to get Brutus to work. Just get some of these piles cut up. Here's another before and after. Okay, well, I'll step out again and be back in just a little bit. I'll let Brutus do his thing here in a few minutes. Here I am behind here, just getting rid of some of these straggly little trees in the back there. Get those out of here. Again, I'm going to pull the limbs out and bring them out front there because I don't want to have to bring the chipper down there. I'd rather bring the limbs to the chipper instead of the chipper to the limbs. And I think I mentioned in my last video that I don't enjoy, but I want to keep moving as much as possible. So it may look like I'm making more work for myself, but that's what I do. I like to do. So keep moving. At any rate, you can see about halfway down on the very bottom at ground level of that barn, there's something sticking out. That's like a oar handle for a canoe, and it's holding open the wood there. See right there? And you'll see later in the video, cats make their home in there. I don't know if they're feral cats or they belong to the people, but they don't seem to bother anybody, so it doesn't matter to me. Here I am just kind of weed eating. Actually, it's got some grass along the fence line. How neat is that? So trying to weed eat and clean that up. I'm sure that grass has migrated from the neighbors over to here, but at any rate, it's green. Whether it's weed or grass, it's green, so that's good. And then I got trying to get this corner cleaned up. I had to be real careful here. That satellite wire is running into the ground, and I didn't want to start digging it out. I could see it, so I was just being very cautious not to cut that. I'm sure if I cut that, it'd get somebody's attention in the house. I try to clear that stuff out of there. Those things might grow back, they might not. They were pretty much dead when I cut them off. So, and then this big stump here, God almighty, that thing was grown into the house almost, And somebody's asked me a few times about the growth in the house, so I did pull some of that off. I'll get the rest of it off. I don't know why I didn't get that sooner. It's just been hanging there. But anyway, we're getting ready to put Brutus to work here in a bit. He's chomping at the bit to do his part again. This thing does a great job, as I've said before. I love the way it mulches and chips stuff up. You'll see as I go through the backyard that it does a pretty good job. So I'll let this run out a little bit and come back in a little while. Maybe I'll have a story to tell. You can see I just came at this at another angle, a little bit more clear picture of how this, the type of work this thing does. You can see that these little piles, that's what I've raked up the last few times I've been over here, and it really does a good job. It saves me from having to pick all that stuff up and haul it off and all that. So it's I really love this machine. I know I keep saying that, but I do. So anyway, you know, I don't know what made me think of this, but my wife and I talk often about during our break in service, when we left the service in '88, we moved up to Maine, where my wife's family's from, until 94 when we came to North Carolina. So we were up there, 6 years or so, and I'm not fond of the cold weather anymore, but we went through some pretty harsh winters up there. I mean, I know what made me think of it. Somebody was talking about snow piles after the little snow that we had here. Well, sometimes up there in Maine, we lived on a dead-end street, and the town would plow to the end of the street and pile it up, and some of those piles, or that big pile at the end of the street, that thing would, a couple times, it lasted into June, almost July, before it melted all away. And of course, once it melted away, it was nothing but sand and rock and everything. And they come clean it up. But anyway, we had some harsh winters up there, and with each year that passes, I dislike the cold more and more. I like the warm weather. I don't have energy in the winter. It's kind of a struggle for me to go out here and work when it's cold. I guess, I don't know. A lot of people say the opposite. They say when it's hot they just can't move. But I prefer to be in the hot weather, with shorts and t-shirts on. But anyway, our time up in Maine was interesting. Our kids were in school. My daughter went through high school up in Maine, and my son through junior high. But we had a nice little house at the end of a dead-end street, and the little town we lived in was just very, very small and friendly. It was called Mechanic Falls. It was outside of Auburn, Maine. And, we really enjoyed it there. We never locked the doors. It almost seemed like when we were growing up, Jocelyn and I talk about it often, when we were growing up, we never used to lock our doors to our house. I mean, it was just the way it was. Well, it was also like that up in this small town. In fact, my wife used to go to the supermarket and get cheese ends, real cheap, all different kinds of cheese. You can get home with a whole bag of cheese, But she'd make a ham and cheese type and potato casserole that was just out of this world. One of my son's friends, his name was Ben, he had eaten over one night and he loved it. And so we came home from work one day. We worked together. We came home from work one day. And it was about 5:30 at night. It was during the spring or summer. It was good weather. And we walked in through the sun porch into the kitchen. There's Ben sitting at the counter on a stool eating some of that ham and cheese and potato casserole. He came in, helped himself, and warmed it up, and was sitting there eating. We laugh about that to this day, but that's just the way it was. I liked it like that, and I miss those days. Of course, the kids are grown up and have their own families now and moved away. As I said, my son and his family are down in the Tampa, Florida area. My daughter and her family are out in the St. Louis area. So, but it was a good time. The kids were in school and we had different activities and all that. And we made the best of our time when we were out of the service. We tried to go back in, as I said, 6 months after we got out, but that was a no-go. So we made the best of our time out there. We kind of fumbled around and struggled a bit, but that's one of the reasons why I like giving back. Is we had times were tough back then for us. We had to work hard and long hours and overtime and everything, but we did good. We made it. As you can see there's a big fail right there trying to pull that tarp with all those wood chips. So I was going to spread them out where I just ran Brutus, but that's not going to happen. I'll have to bring my wheelbarrow over there and spread them elsewhere. I'll set the chipper up to spread them in that area and then rake them into that dirt that I churned up. Well, this was a fail here. I should have known my lawnmower wouldn't pull that tarp with all those chips. I'll do something different. But anyway, I got some footage coming up here of when, right here, this was leftover footage from the day the inspector came up. So I'll just let this run out a little bit, and I'll come back just before the end. And I did get this gazebo uncovered. It's just the frame, but nonetheless, I got it uncovered. So. I don't know if this tree that I'm working on right there is going to make it. I had Harper come over and check it out, and he kind of shook his head no. He didn't think it was going to make it. I've clipped those vines 2 or 3 times, and they're growing into the tree, so it's hard to get them out of there. See, he just peed on it and said maybe this will help, but so here's the gazebo frame coming up. Again, it's just a metal frame. I don't know if they had anything covering it at one point. And there's some sort of a porch swing, patio swing, bench type swing inside there. Once I get it uncovered, I'll pull it out and we can see just what it is. But I'm just trying to get the vines off this and get it cleared away, and then we'll go from there. I'll have to bring I'm going to work in this corner next. I'm going to try to I've got a pile over in the corner of limbs to chip up, and I've also got to bring Brutus over in here and get all this stuff mulched up once I get the limbs done. But and then obviously you can just look in the trees. There's a lot of tree work to do there, so still a lot to do here. But again, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So same principle with this work here. I did speak with Don about the deck and asked them to. I think I mentioned it last video. Asked them to let me know what they want on the deck and what they don't want, and then I'll have a look at it and we'll go ahead and get it repaired. I said to him, I'd like to get that repaired so you can sit out here during nice weather. I'm pretty sure you'd like that. And he said, oh, yeah. So I think he's probably looking forward to that. It gives a different perspective. You come out and sit in your backyard and listen to the birds and the nice warm sun. That's what it's all about. We'll get it uncovered. I'm not sure what he wants to do with it, but we'll get it uncovered and either move it or get rid of it or whatever they want to do. I kind of half expected to see some deteriorated canvas or something in there, but I don't know if they ever did have anything on it, like I said. So we'll continue to work on it and see what happens. So we'll just get this area cleaned up and see what we're going to do with it. I'm sure it would look beautiful at one point. But like I said, we'll get it cleared out and figure out what we're going to do. You can see that swing sitting in there. So that stuff's going to have to be moved out of the way. But anyway, and I told Don that, like I've mentioned several times, I don't make a lot of money on YouTube, but what I do make, I put back into what I'm doing. And part of that is going to be getting some deck boards, so he doesn't have to worry about that. And I said, the people you want to thank for that are you people watching, you people that support the channel by watching the videos, and that's who we should be thanking. So thank you once again. Here I'm trying to get some of these trees in between. There's two trees here. There's the bigger one to the left. I got some limbs cut off it, but I didn't have my big saw with me, and I couldn't get that pole saw in there to cut the base of it. But I've got it to where it'll fall right straight back toward us between the buildings, kind of just like this one's falling. So I got some work for Chip coming up. He'll be back next visit, and we'll get him cleaning up some of this stuff for us. But once again, I truly want to thank all of you for your support. Again, I read all your comments, and I thank you for the great comments. Just so you know, I don't consider myself any different than anybody. I'm just giving back because I can at this point. So, and it's a pleasure to do it. But thank you for all the kind words and the support, and also for scolding me when I trip or fall down or don't wear my glasses or something. My wife said, your viewers are keeping a good eye on you. So, at any rate, thank you, folks. I'm going to sign off now and let the video finish out, and I will see you on the next one, probably next week sometime. Thank you.